I could not take it anymore. So I told everything to my husband, and he was startled. He was startled.
It has been a bad experience.
And naturally my mama came to know, and we told every member of the family that this was it. I kept on saying I wanted to leave the job. I kept on saying this to everybody whom I was comfortable with, be it my colleagues or my family. I kept on saying I wanted to leave the job. But none encouraged me to leave it. None. Nobody. Not because they hated me, but because they loved me. Because as per the traditional concept, having a government job and of such a so-called such a prestigious job, civil service, it's very alluring to a layman who has not entered the system. So when this harassment went beyond tolerable limit, decision was made in the family that I would be allowed to leave the job on one condition. When will be decided by me. It was left to me because they never wanted me to leave the job. They permitted me to take my decision and on my own time. Thereby, when this happened on 15th of October 2015, I drafted my resignation letter and I carried a copy of it in my pen drive all the time with me. And I told my husband, I am going to resign without any, warning to anybody, including you, because this is my life. My life is being ruined and I can't go on. I cannot work in this space where I was given no space at all, So I wrote this resignation letter. I planned to leave the job a long time back, and in November I had my ankle twisted and my ligament was damaged. I had to take leave because I did not have earned leave. My earned leaves were all exhausted when I'll come to this later on. So from the commuted leave, medical ground, and it extended even after I got better also. I went on extending it because then I had decided this is it, I'm never going to come back. When I left that evening, it was the last time in my office. I came out without looking back, deciding that I'll never look back. I'll never go to that place again. I'll go to burn it down, to burn that down, So, meanwhile, Herojit thing came up. Herojit is also another, he has got a very different role, but the thing is that my resignation and his case have nothing to do, totally separate issues, because my resignation was decided long time back. And he came and he told me he wanted to confess to me and my husband and me, about the crimes that he had committed. The crime of which I knew earlier, that it was him who shot Sanjit on that fateful, historic day. I panicked because since earlier I started worrying about him. Since the day I came to learn that it was him, I was very worried, and I have been very close to him. Both my husband and me, we are bonded. We have been very closely bonded. So when he told me he wanted to confess to me, earlier I had predicted that this boy is going to die, but nevertheless we never spoke on our professional level. He was my brother, that's it. We never talked about each other's professional lives, thinking that, he thought that me being his sister, I must have been treated very well. And I thought, okay, he is the hitman, executive hitman of the state, the most famous. So he must be living like a king. So I never worried. Occasionally when I would meet him, at some fruit stalls and these fruit stalls and all these things, I would buy fruits and give it to him, But one day, when I came back from the office, it was around 7:30 or 8, I think. He was sitting there, there, with his brother-in-law. His back was on me when I came up. And very cynically, because I was very frustrated with his work, very cynically I asked him, "How are your children?" He said, "No, how is your child? How is your son? How is your son?" At that time he did not have the second baby yet. And he said, very innocently, he has got this innocence. You will come to know when you interview him.
Yeah.
So innocent.
I feel tracked.
He told me, "Chiche, you know what? I have a son, I am a father. And a father loves his son so much, Chiche." And I looked him straight in his eyes and I asked him, "See, like you, many people, all the parents love their children. And many mothers, sisters, daughters, wives are waiting for their men, are praying that if ever they could ever lay a hand on his body." This much I told him. And as it is, I got back very tired, frustrated. I went straight to the bathroom and I didn't meet him also. Then he came one fine day and told me that he wanted to confess everything. And he never again appeared. He disappeared again, just like Hirojit style. He simply vanished into thin air without any track. Thereby, I got worried. I started getting worried. And I messaged him, "Amukta lao. Ibungo amukta lao. Ibungo, please come." And he promptly replied, "Iche, I like Sege. Iche, I'll come." And I waited for 3 days. And I was becoming paranoid. Because I couldn't force him also, and I couldn't enter his commando complex also, because of his vulnerability to the situation of getting killed, murdered. The third day again I sent him another message, and promptly again he replied back. And again on the third day I messaged him, and the language I used was, "Ibungo nangbo amukta lahauda." I told him that, because perhaps it was now or never. Then his days were getting very numbered, short. So the next evening he came. I immediately rushed back. I was still on leave. I immediately rushed back from where I was, and he told me. I was shocked beyond my wildest nightmare. And I don't know till what time I sat, nearby this pond with the bonfire. I just sat. The next day I was supposed to go somewhere. I cancelled it. He came and I gave him to. He took over. I didn't do anything. I only facilitated Hirojit's security. What I decided was that my leave would to be extended for another 2 weeks. So I decided I would resign in the first week of February. When this happened, I had to resign, because by being in this organization as part of the law of this land, not part of constitution. I think you know what I'm saying. So, as a government servant, and especially in the police, discipline force, I could not indulge in such things. So, in order to prevent myself from self-contradicting, the news was published, the revelation was published on 26 January, symbolically. And I submitted my resignation in the evening of 26 January. Because sooner or later, they were going to find out that they were going to think that I was behind everything. So I did not want to leave any room for them to harass me. No more victimhood. I would never be a victim again. So I insulated myself.